What's up, guys? My name's Mia and welcome to the Mix Up. So today I'm going to tell you guys a short story time of how I had my first stalker. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a background. So I had just moved from my hometown in Georgia to a new school in Virginia, and it was my freshman year in high school. Now, this school was huge. I had a lot of drama that went on in this school. I mean, I have tons of stories, and if you guys want to hear some of those stories, you can always comment down below and let me know. This story takes place at the end of my freshman year when me and some friends, we went to an after-school program to help you get ready for an end-of-the-year test. Now, initially, I wasn't going to go to this thing, but a couple of my friends said, Mia, you should really go. Even if you don't learn anything new, at least we can have some fun and hang out after school. So I went to this after-school program with two of my guy friends. I'm going to give them code names. I'm sure if they watch the video, then they know who they are, if by chance they do. But their names were Fred and Erik. So the three of us are sitting at this square table. It's Fred across from me and Erik beside him, and I'm across from both of them. And we have a chair beside us, so I was like, oh cool, it's just the three of us sitting here with the rest of the class. Everything's gonna be cool. Well, to my surprise, Erik has invited another guy to come hang with us in this after school thing because he needs some help. Now, this guy was an upperclassman, so I didn't know him. I didn't have any classes with anyone who was a sophomore or up. So I found out this guy is a junior, and his name, now I don't remember his name exactly, but it sounded something silly. We'll call him Skyler. So Skyler sits beside me, everything is cool, we're all talking back and forth, and you know, Skyler starts talking to me. He's like, oh, what grade are you in? Oh, are you here to study, or are you just here to hang out with your friends? I was like, of course I'm here to hang out with my friends and study at the same time. Like, I gotta keep my grades up too. So we're in the classroom, Skyler's sitting next to me, the teacher's talking, and we have a moment to ourselves where we can just talk between friends. So Erik ends up going to the bathroom and Fred is sitting across from me, but he is talking to someone behind him. So me and Skyler are just chatting it up, just talking about the usual stuff, and then he asked me for a piece of paper. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, here you go. So I hand it to him, and then he writes me a note. Now, what was on this note is when it started getting super creepy, okay? When I tell you, my little creep meter in the back of my head was like, okay, maybe you should get away from this guy. I open up the letter, and on it says, do you have a boyfriend? Well, at the time, I didn't have a boyfriend. I wasn't with anyone. I wasn't actually looking for a relationship. So I put no, and then I slide it back to him. He's like, oh, cool, I don't have a girlfriend either. Maybe we could hang out sometime. And I put, I don't know. I've been kind of busy, plus it's towards the end of the year. I'm really trying to deflect this guy. He's giving me weird vibes. I don't know him at all. And I'm sure I could have gave him a chance, but he wasn't really my type. So after he asked, do I have a boyfriend? He tells me he doesn't have a girlfriend. He writes on this letter, can I hold your hand? Now, that, I don't know why, but this was the creepiest thing. Like, who asked to hold your hand? Like, you are a stranger that I have never met before this day, and we haven't even talked that much. And I said, no, I don't really feel comfortable with that. So maybe, I mean, we can talk, and maybe we can, you know, become better friends, and then maybe something will happen. I don't want to just be completely rude to this guy. So he says, oh, I got to the bathroom. You guys, I'll be right back. Cool, whatever. And then he whispers to me, hey, don't let your friends read this letter. Now, if you know my friends, they don't care. They're like, hey, what is going on? I saw you two whispering back and forth. What's going on? What's that letter? And then snatch. They take the letter out my hands, and they open it up, and they start laughing. They're like, oh man, this is super weird. Why is he asking to hold your hand? And do you have a boyfriend? Like, what the heck? He trying to put the moves on my friend? Da-da-da-da-da. They're going back and forth. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, like, hey, that's not cool, you guys. Like, he told me not to let you guys read the letter. Like, don't say anything to him. Let's just squash it. Well, that was not the end of it. The guy comes back. He says, oh, is everything good? I'm like, yep, perfectly fine. I have the letter tucked away. I like nothing happened. I throw the letter away and never wanted to talk about it again. The teacher says we're gonna go to a computer room to do the online practice testing. I'm like, cool, I get to sit next to my friends, it'll be fun, it's a very chillax moment. But do I get sat next to my friends? Of course not. I get stuck next to Skyler somehow. Don't even know how this happens. And I am dreading it. I look back to my friends who obviously read this letter and are like, sorry, we couldn't sit next to you. I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I'm starting to take the test, you know, I'm clicking away, minding my business. And then, out the corner of my eye, I see a hand. But not just any hand, it's Skyler's hand. His hand is on his mouse, and it creeps over. And it creeps closer. Now, I see this and I don't know what to do. I'm like, I know this guy is not reaching to get close to me. Maybe just by chance, he's just scrolling over on his thing. Now my hand is beside the mouse. It's just laid there on the desk while I'm taking the test. I'm really into this test. I'm like, oh, I know all these questions. I'm thinking I'm about to ace this thing. And then I feel a little pinky touch mine, and I slowly move it over. I'm like, what the heck is up with this guy? That's kind of weird. Like, I didn't snatch my hand back. I don't know why I didn't do that. I should have, but I didn't. And he slowly puts his hand closer and closer to mine. Now, my hand's here, and his hand is slowly working its way over, okay? And his hand is on top of mine at this point. And then I stopped. I'm like, okay, this has gone far enough. I told this guy I don't want him to touch my hand. What the heck? So I looked at him. I'm like, hey, Skyler, kind of inappropriate, dude. I'm kind of trying to pay attention to this test. Do you mind if you take your hand off mine? Plus his hand was super clammy. You could tell that he was nervous, and I just didn't want to call him out on this. But he's made me so uncomfortable by like touching my hand. I'd already told him I didn't want this to happen. So he says, oh yeah, sorry about that. I just got so nervous and wanted to hold your hand. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Like, what is such a big deal about holding my hand? So he ends up taking his hand off, and I'm thinking, great, we're done with this. I finally finished the testing. All of us split and go our separate ways, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm never gonna see this guy again. I never even have to deal with this awkward situation. Nope, that is just the beginning, it felt like. So my friends obviously teased me a couple of days after this, like, oh, I can't believe that guy was being so weird. And of course I told them what happened. I was like, this weird guy's trying to hold my hand in the middle of the computer lab. And of course everybody just laughs at me, like, of course you would get into a situation like this. So I'm going through the hallway to my next class during the next couple of weeks. And then I see a familiar face, but a face I had never seen before. It's Skyler. Now, what is Skyler doing on a freshman hall? I have no clue. But I see him, and he is dead set. He is looking at me, and he's walking to me. Like, maybe he's just on this hallway. Maybe he, you know, was trying to find one of my friends, Erik or Fred. No, he came over. He told me he was coming to look for me. He was like, oh, hey, like, I thought we had a great connection the other day when we went to the after school thing. I just wanted to come and talk to you. I'm like, oh, well, I'm actually heading to class, so you can walk with me to class and we can talk or whatever. That's fine. I'm thinking, of course, we're in the hallway. He's not gonna do anything weird. He doesn't say anything the entire time we walk to the class. He just says, okay, it was nice walking with you. And then he goes off into his class or wherever he was going at the time. So that freaked me out. I didn't say anything to anyone about it. It just very strange. And then over the next couple of days, he kept popping up into the different hallways that I was in. It was slowly like he was following me. Okay, and so the biggest thing was, now I had never seen this guy before, but my friends obviously knew him from their classes. And from what I recall, I never saw him in any of my lunch periods. But one day I'm at lunch, and from across the room, I see someone waving at me. And who is it? None other than Skyler himself. And I'm like, what in the heck, dude? You have been in the hallway. You keep stopping me and talking to me. I get it, okay? We're cool. But you're giving me creepy vibes. You keep wanting to touch my hand. For the next 2 weeks, I saw this guy more than I had seen him ever before. He went to the hallways I was in. He offered to walk me to class. He tried to hold my books. He tried to hold my hand more. He tried to get me alone. And I want to tell somebody, because this guy was, you know, he was pretty bit bigger than me. I mean, he was taller. He was just bigger in general. And I was like, I need to tell someone, so at least I can tell him to back off, okay? To tell him I'm not interested in whatever he is trying to give me, okay? So I tell my friend Erik, I'm like, hey, Erik, so you know that guy that we met, you know your friend Skyler, you know the guy that I met the other day at the testing thing? He says, yeah, of course, what's up? I'm like, so you already know he was acting funny during the testing thing. This guy has been following me. Seriously, following me. I've never seen him before. It just is so ironic that now he's popping up everywhere. Coincidental? I think not. So I'm like, I tell him everything that's been happening. He's like, yeah, that is a bit creepy. I'll go tell him to back off, you know, maybe intimidate him a bit. Now, if you know Erik, he is a small, scrawny guy at the time, and he, not very intimidating, but I did appreciate that he was gonna go talk to this guy. And maybe a day or two later, I talked to Erik and I'm like, hey, like, did you talk to that guy? And he's like, yeah, I talked to him. Everything's cool. He shouldn't be bothering you. So I was like, awesome. Never gonna try and be in this situation again. So he said he talked to the guy and everything was cool. And then I ended up actually never seeing this guy Skyler again. It was so strange. I went from seeing this guy absolutely none to him trying to force himself into my life for 2 weeks to never saw him again. So obviously he didn't have to go to those hallways that he had seen me in, and it was almost like he was trying to scout me out to find me. Now, I didn't see this guy again until probably like the very last few weeks of school, and found out, I heard that some girl in our freshman class was dating him, and so he was waiting outside of her classroom, waiting for her to get out. And I saw him and I kind of was like, good for you. Good for you for finding someone who can take all that in, because that wasn't for me. You know, he waved at me, he smiled, everything was fine, but yeah. Now, if you guys like this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you can always hit that bell icon down below if you haven't already, and you can get notifications for when I post. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day.